Hey everybody, this is Mar from The Inside Eight. I'm here to talk to you today about one of my favorite subjects, which is balance. And really excited to talk to you about this. This is our new theme for March. And as you may have known, in January was our theme all around New Year's resolutions, aka intentions. And February was our focus on connections, so relationships in your life. And here now in March, it's all about the balancing act, and very much so between those first two themes that I just mentioned. So when we come to talk about balance, I like to just throw out there that it is something that is very intimate and personal and unique to each person. So when we hear that word balance, it does not mean one template for everyone. It means a bunch of different things, and it really takes looking within to see where your time is spent and what you want it to be spent on. So, for example, I always like to think about back to my days when I was working probably 90% of, I would say 90% of my time was spent on work, and there was only 10% left for other things, and it was completely out of balance, and that's why I completely went kind of one way and had to swim my way back up to breathe. And so when you think to yourself about embracing balance, it's something that I feel, I guess with balance, a lot of times we tend to think that it's an end state. And I'd like to reiterate that it is not an end state. There's no goal other than to every day kind of remind yourself and be a little more mindful about the things that you want to be doing and spending your time on, spending your time with, and how you want to grow in that regard. So, and again, there is no one size fits all template. And so I'd like to encourage everyone to write a couple things down if you can right now. You can type it on your computer, you can write it down on your phone, you can write it down on a piece of paper. But start with number one and write down 3 of the most important elements in your life. So 3 things that are very important to you. And for some, this could be career and love, family and friendships, hobbies, things that you really enjoy to do. And so write down 3, the first 3 that come to mind. And it's okay if it's career first, and it's okay if it's yourself first. So yourself is one of them. So be honest and try to think about what those 3 are. And it's okay, it doesn't have to be in a certain order. But then for number 2, after you've gone through that, think about how, if you were to put a percentage to your time with those 3, how would those rank up? So for instance, if you had career and then love and then maybe yourself, let's see, how much of your time is spent on career? Is it 40%? Is it 80%? What about your friendships? Is it only 10% of your time? Is it 90% of your time? And 3, if it's love, how much is spent there? 10, 20, or is it 100? Who knows? So the fun thing about this is actually putting a number to an element in your life that is important to you. And once we write something like this down, it's easy to see where things may be shifting towards one end or the other. And you can use this example with everything. And you can put multiple things. It doesn't have to be 3. It could be 5. It could be 10. But to be honest in your answers is where you'll really find where you'll get a sense of kind of enlightenment of, wow, this is where my time is spent, and maybe I need to work on this a little bit more. Balance is not easy. So it absolutely is not easy. We are in a career-driven world. We should be. Our jobs, however they don't define us, they do take up and tend to take up a big chunk of our lives, especially if you're more so in a 9-to-5 job. There's always, those expectations, or even as an entrepreneur, I know a lot of my time is spent working, and there's not boundaries there that you definitely have to draw, but you think about the time being spent on each of those things, and then you wonder why you aren't growing in other ways. So picking up that hobby, spending a little more time with your spouse or your children, whatever it is, and making room for it. So embracing balance is really truly just to bring us into a safe place where all the elements that are important to us in our lives can start to flourish, and not just one. Because to be in balance, we have to have all of these different things harmonizing together. And so I really enjoy talking about this because it's something you can think about every day. And again, it is not an end state. Every day you're going to wake up with new obstacles. You're going to wake up with new expectations on yourself from others. You're going to wake up with just completely, it's a fresh start each day, and something comes your way that you may not be expecting. And it's up to us to stay in balance, to try to stay afloat, right? Because it's not fun finding yourself underwater in any regard. So I would love to see your comments. If anyone would be open to kind of commenting here. I know a lot of people will watch this in retrospect after we're live, but I'd love to maybe have a follow-up to this to see where you maybe found yourself out of balance and how you feel that you can get back to balance. And if this helped you at all, the exercise. We're curious here at Inside 8. I'm curious. I'm here to help. Balancing, again, it is not easy, but it is fun if you want to think about it in that way. Think about how you can make it fun for yourself. So, hey, Sean and Jax, I see you here. Figured I'd give you guys a little shout out. So if you have questions, please comment here, and I can follow up maybe next week. And I guess another thing I wanted to talk to in terms of balance is the balancing act, especially between the first two themes of our year. So those New Year's resolutions, intentions, you may for the whole month or a week had a intention or a resolution, and all of your energy could have possibly been spent there. And how did that bring other elements of your life out of balance? A lot of times, you have your intention or your resolution, and that gym is totally packed for the first 2-3 weeks of the month, and then you see this massive drop. And I've actually have seen this in my yoga classes. This month has been a little bit slow. February started slowing down as well, and this happened last year. April time starts to pick back up again. But so it's a good example, kind of when you put your energies into one thing, and then all of a sudden the scale is tipped, and your energy has been put into your intention, your resolution, and then maybe everything else went down. So as you were spending all that time in the gym, that energy, did your productivity go down with work? Did your time being spent with others go down? How did that balance out? And same with relationships. February is a big month, Valentine's Day, other things. And we talked a lot about just different relationships, and that's friendships and love, of course, and relationships with your coworkers and people that you are around in your community, how those all take a lot of nourishing and attention to grow. So with those relationships, if you were to have put anything into practice for that month, where did the scale get tipped there? So now it's about taking all of these things that we want to do. We all want to be better versions of ourselves, and it doesn't mean that we don't appreciate where we are at this exact moment, but we do and hope to just be better people, to make us feel better, happier, and to live a more fulfilled life. So to embrace balance between your intentions, maybe you revisit those from January. What was it that you wanted to do? And whether or not you did it for a day or for a full month, or if you're still at it, how can you bring those back into focus while bringing into focus maybe the other elements such as love, family, friendships, and maybe a little bit more of your career, or get into another hobby that you've been procrastinating about. Because oftentimes with balance, if we want to maybe bring in a hobby to balance our lives out, it's daunting to think if you want to pick up a book and read it. If you don't read every single day, then there's no point. But little steps at a time, that balancing act, maybe it's 5 minutes here, maybe it's 20 minutes 2 days later. Whatever it is, your intentions are there, the balance is there, you're getting what you need. So don't let time stop you from trying. So that is all I have for you today. Again, please comment here. Let me know how you can benefit from balance and where you feel things are out of balance. And I guess I will leave you with that. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, embracing that balance in every element that you can. And with that, have a great day.